Man, here it is, the 2025 Ninja 500. We're one of the first to ride it. Stay with me, you don't want to miss this one. Let's get this thing started. This is the basic version. It does not have the TFT, but you can always get the TFT. I'll show the different colors and models available. Let's get going here. Turn it on. That's very clear. You've got your other buttons here that do your temperature. You can see it flash an app. It does have a Kawasaki Rideology app. It does have your gear indicator. This is 1 down, 5 up. Let's get rolling here. Man, huge thank you to Plano, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Vespa. They always want to make sure y'all see this new stuff coming out. I'm so thankful to have them. All their information is in the video description of each video. It does have the eco mode. Let's make sure we're getting the right angle on this. Perfect. Now this bike, well, we'll just go right into it. This bike is about 340 pounds, 350 pounds wet. Or no, I'm sorry. This bike is about 340 pounds dry with no fuel in it. About 370 pounds fully fueled. Curb weight is what they call this. We'll get out. This is a 451 cc engine. It's a long stroked Ninja 400. We're going to pull out here on the street. Didn't use my blinker. Oh well, there's a blinker indicator, and I'll push that in to cancel it. This bike makes 51 horsepower. That's second gear. 55. I'm sure I could have done 60. But man, what an awesome bike. This bike, I believe, now they put some extras on this bike. The tinted windscreen. This guy here is kind of floating over. We'll get past him. They put a tinted windscreen, and I'll go over it with you. I'll jump off up here and walk around the bike. Also, too, I did a 24 Ninja 400 video. I've also done the Aprilia 457. You should be seeing those graphics right now. There are 4 colors of this bike. You've got the KRT edition. You've actually got 2 KRT editions. The paint is the same. Let me jump off up here and I'll walk around this bike and show you what I think makes it a super value. We'll get off here. This is the KRT edition. They also make this in an ABS version, and it's $1,000 more. I believe it's $65.99. This bike has the tinted windshield on it, and it also has the frame sliders. This bike here, and I'm not double for sure that this bike comes for that price. I think they're $53.99 for these. That may be the ad of the windscreen and the frame sliders. Basically, you have one single rotor there, one single caliper. Your oil is so easy to change. It's in there. Make sure I'm getting that. I don't know why it doesn't look like it, but your oil filter's at the bottom. You would not have to take the side fairings off. This does have a cable actuated throttle, where the Aprilia 457 is fly-by-wire. Of course, you're going to pay for it. I think the cheapest 457, y'all can leave a comment, is like $74.99. I could be wrong. Let's go into some other details. The front tire is a 110/70/17. It does have these green pinstripes on it. It's a Dunlop Sport Max tire, which is a very capable tire. The back one is 150/60, 17. Front rotors are 310 millimeters. The back rotor, I believe, is 240 millimeters. I could be wrong, but I'll correct that if I am. Also, too, the front has no adjustment on the forks. They are not upside down forks, but you can see right here, I believe they're 37 millimeter forks. And if you were a little bit shorter person, you could always go up here, loosen these bolts right here, slide the forks up. It's pretty much unlimited. You do have I believe it's 5.1 inches of total travel in your front forks, and I think it's 5 in the same also. If you are a little bit short or a little bit height challenged, you could turn down your preload. You can see the notches there. The back one is preload adjustable. You do have your oil sight window. There's your oil filler cap right there. You would basically stand the bike up when it's off, and it'll show your oil level, and it should come in between those two marks. Hope that's getting that. This is a trellis frame, so it's front and rear trellis. The motor makes 51 horsepower. It is a 451cc stroke motor. It's originally a 400 motor that they've stroked. They've increased the stroke on it. So it makes, instead of the 400, making like, I think it's 45 horsepower and 27, I know you hear me going 27 foot-pounds of torque. This motor makes 51, and I believe it's at 30.8 foot-pounds of torque out of that motor. There's a lot of options for this motor. The big plus to this bike, seat height is 30.9 inches from the ground to here. It's 29 inches wide at its widest point. It's 45 inches tall at its tallest point. Hope you can see that. The headlights are LED. Let me turn those on high beam. I'll show you something super cool. I think it looks just like a ZX6R in the front. Those are the high beams on. Let's try and get it a little bit better. These LED headlights make an amazing amount of light. Here's your flash to pass. So you would push that in if you were going through an intersection, and I'm pushing that, and you could leave them on while you're going through an intersection. This is a beginner-friendly bike. That's who it's made for. Your foot pegs are basically directly below, a little bit in front of your hips, but you can see the foot pegs. They're basically in front of your hips a little bit, so it would be really easy to put your feet on the ground if you bobbled or anything like that. I'd highly recommend you get some frame sliders. That'll stop a lot of it. If it falls over, you may mess up a mirror or scratch one of these, but you'll be a whole lot better off. The blinkers are a regular bulb here. It does have that super cool rear tail light. I've got 3 or 4, probably more like 5 25 models in my playlist. So make sure you're subscribed. If you get anything from this video, make sure you like it. Leave a comment. I love answering all the comments. I answer them myself. But look at this bike. And I'll show you one more time the 4 colors it comes in. It comes in this green KRT livery. They also make this same color in the SE version, which is the keyless system. You would put the key in your pocket. You would never have to take it out. So they do have the SE, and also too, it's $1,000 more, I believe, for the SE. So it would be like $66.99, I believe, maybe $65. I'll put that price up in the video, where this is $54.99. $1,000 more, you would get ABS. A lot of people want it, a lot of people don't. Super bike to start on. So it would come in those two colors in KRT versions. It also comes in a black SE version. I think that's the only bike you can get that black in, and it is an SE version. You can leave a comment if I'm wrong. But look at this bike. Got tie downs right here where you could tie something down on the seat. You got your helmet holder right there, and it's keyed. Your gas cap is also keyed. This bike has a 5-inch ground clearance. I believe it's 54 inches from middle of the back tire to the middle of the front tire, and 78 inches total front to rear. But man, let's get back on this thing, go take it for a quick jump. I'm going to show you on the dash what you get with this dash, and this is an LCD dash. It's highly visible. Let me push it in the sun and see if I can get it to, well, not really, but it's highly visible. The TFT that you could get on one is 4.5 inches tall. All these connect to the Rideology app. This is going to show your engine temperature right here. This bike's got 2 miles on it. We'll push this bottom button right here. There's your clock. There's your gas indicator. It's got a full tank of gas on it. That's that button. You can change any of that, the time. We'll go here, trip A, trip B. You can always reset those. Mile per gallon. UK, you can go in there and change that to standard US version. Let's see what else we got here. That's it. That's really all you need. You'll have your light ups for any kind of problems you have with this bike. There's your gear indicator. Let's get back on this thing and get going. We're going to take it. Man, this is such a fun bike. You could always flash it. I know there's a couple companies offering flashes for this bike, and I think it raises it about 6 to 8 horsepower. You could always change to get more sound. You could put a slip-on it. And it's pretty good the way it is. I would probably change the pipe. Any of these highway banditos, or I call them highway banditos, but people that ride really hard pretty much all the time. But this is really a beginner bike and an intermediate bike. I would say more beginner. You definitely want to take your time on this. It's hydraulic front brakes, hydraulic rear brakes. Let's get on this and I'll show you some more about it. If you're getting anything out of this video, make sure you like the video and subscribe. Let's take this thing out and just put it in first gear. It does have a neutral indicator, and you can watch that right there. Popped it into neutral. Let's go. Man, I tell you what, I just love these smaller bikes. The chiropractor scale on this is definitely a 5. There's really no bend over on it. Less chug. Oh, we got one coming in. Let's get out here. Iron Eagle Excavation. Yeah, we don't want him to run over us. As long as you take your time and allow plenty of distance, you're going to always be okay. Just remember that. It just handles excellent. I mean, and it's not a shaky. It's just super confidence inspiring. Let's get out here to the service road. Let's give this thing a go. Here we go. Make sure I'm getting, jerk that front wheel off the ground. 62. I'm going to shut it down there. This is an awesome bike. We've got a bunch of 2025 more test riding reviews. The Ninja 1100 probably coming up. The Suzuki, they do have Kawasaki, Suzuki, Moto Guzzi, Aprilia, Vespa, and Piaggio scooters. Like I said, their information is in the description of my video. Man, thank y'all for riding with me. Make sure you leave a comment if you got any questions. That's part of what I love about this channel. It's a very vibrant community, and we'll see you on the next one.